Aloha, gang. We are back. And I had just enough time to take my niece to the airport. Well, meet her at the airport before she left to head back to New York. And even more importantly, enough time to get some treats for the dogs to shut them up so we don't have to listen to them for a whole live. And because they are driving me absolutely bonkers. And we are out of treats, which does not help life whatsoever. And a lot of things have, well, not lot, fair amount of stuff has come out in the last, what, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours since we were live. We have had a press conference, really short. Okay, honestly, less than 5 minutes, but it's still, we got some information there. Some more information has been kind of coming out, hit or miss as to what is real, what is not, but we can go through a lot of those things. But first, while we're letting YouTube get the word out, and I have someone literally trying to talk me into food. Yeah, you got one piece of Cheeto, and now we want more. And let's say hi to a couple people. We first of all, Miss KK, you have been, you Seal, so many people have been helping me in getting information, especially because I've been running all over the place today. So thank you, my dear friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, shortest presser in all of history. I agree. Totally shortest. I've never seen something that short. Part of me, though, I'm going to say this real quick. I'm kind of happy it was that short because listening to it was heartbreaking. If you were listening in the background, I was having a hard time focusing on what the police officer was saying because I could hear the family in the background. And I don't know if I could have handled that for a long amount. It was really hard to listen to. And there is Miss Renee. Welcome, 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 Renee. Hello, aloha, my dear, and welcome. And yeah, oh my God, these dogs. These dogs are like the killer of my life. All you ever want is food. But they look so cute when they want it. It's so hard to say no to them when they want food. So, but for those of you coming on in, note it looks like notifications are getting out. So I wanted to talk enough so I didn't have, okay, to, I know it takes a while for YouTube to send notifications out. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for anyone who's interested. Crisp is working. Thank you. I always wait for that one little notification. Is Crisp working or not? Whenever I sing karaoke, I end up turning Crisp off and then I forget to turn it on. Miss Angie Marie's here. Say hi. Say hi. You want more food, don't you? Yeah, we're licking our lips, don't we? So, but yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to actually start the presser, but I want to make sure to give a couple minutes for people to kind of filter in here, and also we can watch the presser. I know there's some other lives getting ready to start also. So I want to kind of catch that in before all those start. And then the rest of us can sit here and talk and try to get an idea. I don't know. Guys, I think there's a lot of information to come. And we may not even be open to a lot of the information. There's also a lot of false information out there. A lot of emotions riding super high right now. And you're never sure when emotions are riding high how much information is real versus perceived. Okay, it's like there was some discussion going on at one time about who found them, because what happened was it was her family who posted, "We found her." Okay. And a lot of people were taking that as in they found her. But it's turning out actually what it is that, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth on this. It's seeming that it was a maintenance man who probably came into work and saw the car and then reported it. So the exact way, whether or not he was able to contact the family, because family was very, very involved here on Facebook and social media, getting the word out. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and bring up, like I said, the shortest presser in history, but it does have some information in it that kind of leads us to what may be going on here. Um, I'm going to warn you guys, it's really hard to listen to because of the background. This press conference was done right in front of family members who were getting the news. They literally had just been finding this out. So it's hard to hear. Okay, it's not one of those press conferences where all you have are journalists in a room with the police. This is right there in front of them, and you're getting all that. So let's go ahead. It runs 4 minutes 7 seconds. Sorry, it's a small video. Literally, I think most of this was pretty much people on their phones videotaping, and is what happened. KK also says also makes things confusing. So a lot of information, but also a lot of information that was left on exactly. They're being very, very careful with what they're saying right now. The police are being super careful, and people are parsing words. You know what we do. You know how people get on the internet. We parse out words. Okay. And it's like, well, when people say we, did they mean this or that? When people mention two, do they mean this or that? That's what's starting to happen now. And we just need to remember throughout this whole thing what is important, which is the fact that most likely three people have lost their lives in this case, because I'm going to count the baby. I'm sorry, that's just me. I am going to count the baby for myself. That's how I count things. Everyone has their own way. It's fine. So let's go ahead and start. Would you guys stop barking? I will give you treats. Okay, here we go. Tell me if this is too loud or too soft, because it's a really loud speaker.
So what I'm about to tell you, excuse me, what I'm about to tell you is preliminary information and could change, quite possibly will change as detectives get further into the investigation. And what we're looking at right now, I think everybody knows the background on this, so I won't go into it. But what we're looking at right now is a very, very perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder, and but we don't know for sure. So again, because of the complexity, the complex crime scene.
Okay, I'm going to stop that right there. I'm not going to play this all the way through because there's some things I know a lot of you have already heard this already. But there's certain things that pop into me immediately. And what I am finding interesting is the term murder. They are not saying murder suicide, which is getting now. I know you can't officially announce a murder suicide without certain things in place and all, but the fact that they're willing to jump right now to that rather than saying unknown call or something like that, and with some of the other information going on out there on social media, there's some chilling comments that you can start coming up with there.
And we can't say for sure what we have. Questions?
How many people were found? Are there people
Two.
inside the car?
There are two people in the car.
Are they dead?
They are deceased. And we believe that it is the missing woman and her boyfriend, but we can't confirm that right now officially until the medical examiner takes a look at the bodies and makes that determination as to their identity.
So that missing woman was pregnant. Do we have any update on the baby?
No, I mean, I can't say for sure. I'm not going to say anything officially about whether the person in the vehicle was pregnant or is pregnant. I can't say that officially, so I'm not going to. We have to wait for the medical examiner to say anything officially. But we do believe that the two individuals are the female who was missing and her boyfriend.
Any weapon inside the car?
We don't know that yet. We have not been able to move the bodies.
Is it a Kia Optima?
Yes, it's the car that was described as the boyfriend's.
Did the family call in about the car?
Yes, the family did.
Do you know how long-
They were alerted that the car was here, and they phoned it in.
And that was around 4 o'clock?
I don't know exactly what time it came in.
You know how long they may have been here for?
We're thinking possibly for 3 or 4 days.
So who exactly found the car?
I don't know exactly who found it, but the parents were alerted by someone or the family was alerted by someone who came across the vehicle.
Chief, we know that the Clear Alert obviously went out in Leon Valley, but there have been questions on why SAPD did not issue their own alert. Were you ever alerted to any idea that this could be within your jurisdiction?
I believe we became aware of it, but the uh, this being originally, this originating in Leon Valley, that's why I came out from there, the alert, clear alert.
Was there ever any indication that SAPD should have put out a clear alert of their own?
No.
So are y'all leading this investigation to the death? Is Leon Valley still involved in the investigation?
No, we are, if there's any information that Leon Valley has, our detectives will work with Leon Valley on that. But the case is an SAPD case right now.
What can you say to the Soto and the Guera family who are here today?
What can I say to them? Exactly what I just told you.
Yes, sir.
What makes this complex that you said?
Pardon?
What makes this a complex?
I don't want to go into details about that, but again, I will repeat that it appears to be a very complex crime scene, very perplexing crime scene.
And
Chief,
who
was
lives
FBI
here?
ever
One more question, guys.
Was the FBI ever involved in this investigation, or is anybody else going to be involved with the complexity of it?
No, not unless we reach out to them, but no.
Chief, do any of them live here, or why were they here? Do you know?
Anyway,
Do you know why they were here?
no, I don't.
Thank you all, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
y'all.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay. So let me pull that down real quick. And first of all, to those of you coming in, welcome. Aloha. Melissa, thank you for your comment. Yeah, I agree. Melissa made a comment over on Facebook. There are just some evil people in this world to do this to these youngsters and their baby. I mean, and this is one reason why, guys, we always have to be so careful when news starts breaking. Yesterday, so many people start going in one direction, and you know what? There's no excuse for things like DV no matter what. But it doesn't necessarily mean, in fact, I made that comment yesterday. Sometimes horrible, horrible stuff happens to people who are not the greatest people either, or do the greatest things. And we have to be open to that at all times. Because it's just, right now, we have families that have lost their daughter and their son in 1 year. Okay, and now a grandchild. We have another family who has lost a grandchild and their son. So families just being torn apart. I mean, right now. And yeah, the evil people. And I'm trying not to highlight too many names from Facebook because I know that Facebook tends to put people's real names out. And I like to be careful about that. But thank you so much for that comment, Melissa. Thank you so much. And welcome, Renee. And yeah, guys, the prayers today is just keep them in your LG. Hello, 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 my dear. And yeah, heart's broken. I mean, with this, it's just horrible. It's horrible as it is. So I wrote down a bunch of different things as I was listening to this. Because I'm really focusing on it for the first time, and I would love to see what your guys' thoughts are in chat, and we'll bring up things and all that. Sandra, welcome, 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 Sandra. How you doing, my dear? Nale kaliki maka to you and your whole family. I love you. Yes, dogs want more treats. So couple things that were, and I think actually KK brought up a great point here. Let me pull it back up. Where is it? There it is. KK. Just her opinion, because this is the first thing people are questioning right now. What is the comment about two people? What can we read into? Because guys, we got to be honest. We're reading into things. We always read into things. This is what we do. It's part of human curiosity. And but there's been a lot of fears with this. Okay, as I mentioned before, San Antonio, I found this out during a different case, just how organized infant and baby trafficking is there. I mean, organized. I need to do another live on that one day to exactly show what that process looks like there, because I'm sure it's the same process in many other states. I mean, to the point where they literally have hotels set up, okay, where a mother will give birth, and then they deliver the baby at places to the new family at a place like Six Flags, because who would ever think that something like that is happening. And it's normal to see a child handed while other people go off to a new ride. So ever since I saw that other case and did a lot of research, it's always been something in the back of my mind. And it's really been in the back of my mind the last day or so. But in this case, we right now, the way things are, KK's got a huge, really good point here. The fact that they are saying two bodies, okay, and there is no alert out. There's no other amber alert, clear, okay, alert. None of those alerts are out. Is probably leaning us to the idea that she did not give birth. And yes, Melissa, I agree. This does not feel like murder suicide to me anymore. It really does not. Plus, with some of what we're hearing, and I don't know how much of this is true, there is a family member, but there has been, and I'm prefacing this by anything that is said right now, may be true, may not. But some of the comments that have been brought up include some very, very scary things that do point towards this being more along the idea of being a, I don't want to use the word hit, but more along that area for sure. And Sandra, I mean, yeah, this case is yesterday. I heard about it for the first time yesterday. And even though it was Christmas, I had like 20 minutes and I went live 20 minutes just because we were still hoping they were out there and we would be able to find them and get the word out because of the Kia. We had, okay, a car. Sorry, I need AC in this house. We thought we'd be able to have that. Angie, yes, from what we're hearing now, of course, guys, a lot of what we're hearing, we got to remember the difference between assumption and facts. Okay. And sometimes those things can get very blurred, especially when you're dealing with the internet. It's like I said a few minutes ago, how they were found. Initially, in fact, I had a problem where my title on the last live said they were found okay, safe, but in bad condition. And literally, as I'm going live, it changed from one to the other. And it made so things change very quickly. But the other thing that was being said initially, it was actually Savannah's family that came out said, "We found her. She's in bad, bad shape, but we found her." And a lot of people took that as in they found her, the family found her. Okay, in reality, it's starting to look now like it was actually the maintenance man found her at them and then informed the family that they see this car and all that, and it matches, and then the family let people know. So a lot of times we hear words like we found them and we're thinking that, but in reality, what they were saying was, we found her. We found her. It's the subjective we rather than we personally did. And that's something we have to always be alert to when we're dealing with these things. Um, Melissa said, "Oh, yes, the girl who was talking disgusting stuff that she knew what happened to Savannah before she was found. She started a new TikTok under, yeah." There's a lot of sickening things that happen in these days. And those of you who know this channel know I don't like clickbait. I don't like clickbait. I don't like people making assumptions without, in fact, poor KK has heard me probably how many times today say, "Have we been able to back that up with this?" And all, knowing that you can't back everything up. So you've got to figure out where are you and what is real and what is not, and make sure that you're stating when you're stating something may not be verified, because that's why the police did not report it out to everyone right away. They had to clear everything up first. LG, I'm behind in the stream, but hearing the family. And that's what I was at the airport dropping off my niece when actually Seal sent me that. And I was listening to it and I almost felt apart in the airport. It was just listening to that was just some of the hardest stuff ever because they're still trying to make everything make sense. This is just happening. And yeah, Angie, that's why you can't take too much true crime anymore. Too heartbreaking. Yeah, when you're it gets to be hard. And that's why you got to be careful. But going back to, yeah, KK is really good at finding things. And yeah, and like I said before, I don't think this, and I may be wrong. It may be a murder suicide, but I'm not getting that vibe myself at this point anymore. I'm getting more of someone may have been connected to the wrong people and something may have happened to them. I don't know that. I don't know anything, but that's kind of what a lot of us are starting to think may be happening here. Um, because what we do know, okay, what we do know, and okay, is that 6:30 the night before, she contacted her mom and told her mom, "I'm going to be inducted tomorrow, induced tomorrow." And I think KK and I were just talking about this. It was what, 6 o'clock or something the next day. She was going to be induced. They left that morning in the vehicle. Did they leave because she was in labor at that time? Were they going to go out for one last ride or, okay, a drive just to make sure how long does it take to get there later today? I mean, the excitement. Think of that. The excitement of knowing that this baby's coming in to the world. Okay. And okay, how long does it need us to get there? So, because it is interesting that there is no baby bag in the car. The baby bag was left in the house. So what was going on there? Um, it is, Melissa. I so want to bring up your messages, but I just don't want to have that last name pop up. But it is, Melissa, so heartbreaking within this for all the families involved now, because their families are never going to be the same ever. Um, KK, yeah, I think you and I are thinking very, very similar. You just don't want to spread. I don't ever want to spread the false information. I know there's going to be times we say things and think this turns out wrong. It's like me in my last live. I thought she was alive, and then got ready to hit go live, and oh no, it just changed. So you have to watch those. But a lot of things that, of course, okay. I think most of the people who are watching this are probably people who have been following the case. But let's just kind of go through that timeline again. Um, Savannah was 1 week, okay, past due for her baby. So they made the decision, let's induce. It was going to be for the next day. She calls mom, says, "Mom, I'm going in tomorrow. We're going to have the baby tomorrow." And sometime during that night, sometime after 6 or sometime early morning, whatever, people in the neighborhood, in the apartment complex, heard Savannah yelling. Okay, I don't know if it was a fight or just her yelling, but the words that were said was yelling help, screaming help. So was it a fight? Was it just maybe something was happening? Okay, maybe she was starting to have control. We don't know what that meant. And the next morning, there is visual of the two of them getting into a car. This is where there's some concerns because some of his family members, two of them, in fact, if you look at yesterday's live, said he was in a Cadillac. And however, if you look at the clear alert, it was a Kia that they were in, and what they were found in was in a Kia. So I'm thinking, this is just me, guys. We know that the Kia had temporary tags initially, then they updated things, and it went from temporary tags to possible permanent tags with two different license plate numbers on them. Did they just buy this car? And the family, maybe in the heat of the moment, whatever, forgot that they don't have a Cadillac anymore, maybe, and did that? We don't know. But that is a possibility. And I'm always going to look at possibilities because once we go in on one thing and say, "Oh no, this is what happens," then you close your mind. Melissa, possible kid. Yeah, I still can't help but worry. Was there something in connection with the baby? We don't know. I think there's going to be some potential. Could there have been something? Okay, plant that we didn't know about. So yeah, that this morning when all this started breaking, it was happening like 5-10 minutes. Everything. I literally had just woken up, and everything went all over the place right away. It is interesting that his family said the Cadillac and her family said the Kia. So it is very interesting on that. And is it truly false information? Was it confused information? What, who knows right now? Time's going to tell the truth. Time will definitely tell us the truth. Um, so basically, there were some other things that happened in between from the time that the welfare check was called in. Okay, there have been some rumors as to what happened in between there. I'm not sure what is true and what is not. Please, they do have a group where a lot of this is being discussed. Or if you want to come discuss more theory based, I try to keep to Discord. So if you want to come over to Discord, please feel free to come over to Discord and discuss all of that if you'd like to. Sorry, mods, I know my good old Battissimo went out the way of the dodo bird, and I have not gotten us reset up on anything else. But let me just share for anyone interested in Discord, I can share that with you. There you go. There's Discord. So we can discuss. I'm starting up a group in case people are still interested in discussing. But we know there were two. They were found in the Kia Optima. There is, when we were watching the video in my last live, we were seeing the video as they had the local. Can you pin that? Yes, I can pin that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Here she goes, girl. How you doing? Well, I'll try to pin that once it lets me. Why can't I pin my own stuff? That is weird. I swear, I don't know what's going on with this. Okay, let me try that again. Let me try that again. I can always pin things. And also, how you doing? Here she goes. Um, but yeah, it was some really great video where we were able to see the car and you could see whatever was going on. It definitely seemed the areas they were hiding. Whoa, sorry about that. The areas they were hiding were the back seat and the driver's side front seat. They had a whole tarp covering those areas. So that was very interesting how that worked out. Let me see. Join Discord. Let me just do that real quick and try that again real quickly, guys. Don't know why. It will not let me. That is weird. It won't let me pin my own comment. Actually, KK, if you want to post something, copy and paste that Discord link, and then I can actually pin you guys. I cannot pin my own message right now on YouTube. YouTube is really giving us trouble lately. YouTube's trying to update all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Which allegedly is where the bodies. Yeah. So allegedly, what we're hearing right now is that the bodies were found. Okay, allegedly in the back seat and the front driver's seat, which does kind of go with. I don't think we have Seal in chat right now, but there were a couple. Mal was thinking this, Seal was thinking this, that there were people in one person in the front driver's seat. We weren't sure if we thought we saw something there or not, but that does make sense. Hey, no problem, Melissa. Melissa, if you go to YouTube, it's The Local My Life. So LOKOMAI Life, LIFE. So come on over. Yeah, that way you can have fun talking on over here, and I can highlight your messages without worrying about doxing you. And Robbie's here. Hey, Robbie. I hope you had a great Christmas, my dear. It looks like you guys did. And Christmas is always fun. It was fun. Yes, I hope everyone had an amazing Christmas. Um, so couple things that are evident immediately is that the police are saying they think that both of them had been there for 3 to 4 days. Now, that alone, you can tell it's someone who really didn't know. He wasn't putting time frames together. He was speaking off the cuff because 3 to 4 days, well, that basically tells us probably by the time that the alert was put out, they were gone. Okay, I hate to say it, but I think they were probably gone by that time. Thank you. I think I can pin it now. Let me see. Yep, there we go. Pin the message. Thank you. I think we're pinned. We are pinned. Thank you, KK. And and that way also, Melissa, if you go there, you should be able to get the link to the video that we're on right now also. So that does one thing. Okay. They basically left that morning. And I lost the Google Earth stuff. Let me see if I can pull it back up. But from where they disappeared to their house, it was 1.99 miles. So just about 2 miles. So it was not far. And it was in the direction of the hospitals. So it looks like they could have been heading towards the hospitals. Um, but not made it. And lot of things within that whole point of view. Why would they have pulled over into a townhome parking lot, which is what it looked like? It looked like a townhome parking lot. Were they meeting people there? Was she potentially starting to have labor cramps, going into labor, and something was going on and they were trying to decide, do we go back and get the bag, or do we go come back? A lot of possibilities within that. And who knows right now what any of those things. But one thing's for sure, if they were gone for 3 to 4 days, this all happened probably within an hour or two of them driving away, is what I'm thinking. KK, I'm just so confused why it wasn't reported earlier. Why it took that many days for people to realize there were bodies in their car, and that the car that was reported. I wondered about that, girl. If you look at when we were getting the videotape, there were not a lot of cars in that parking lot, if you noticed. And when something like that happens, they usually don't say, okay, everyone move your car out, we're going to close this up. They just close it up. Okay. And so I'm wondering if it was a combination of very few people in that parking area and the holidays. Because during the holiday, now on the other hand, if you're like my neighborhood on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, you can't find parking anywhere. So that's a fair point there. But could it have been the fact that it was just so busy and people were so focused on get out of the car, get in the house with all the gifts and food and stuff like that, and they were forgetting what was going on around? Because it seems like it was a maintenance guy who found them. And that makes sense. He came back in today, Monday, and sees the vehicle there. And yeah, KK, no, good point. Okay, you hate to go in that direction, but yeah, things like smell, stuff like that. There's got to be some level of an issue there. Um, it is interesting how that, or is it? I had a talk with some friends on Christmas Eve. I was at a game day with some friends, and I remember we had a huge talk about how people nowadays, they don't want to get involved in things. You will see people being assaulted right in front of you. And what do you see happen? Okay. Do you see people getting on their phone calling 911 or anything? No. What you see is this. Ooh, look. Ooh, I got to record this. You know what? I might go viral if I record this, or stuff like that. So if people are seeing things, a lot of times, and especially if it was in I don't know that area of town, is it a type of area where the criminal element is more involved and people are like, I don't want to get involved in something because I might now have a mark on my back? I don't know. It's so many different possibilities. Um, yeah. This one reminds you how important family is, because again, Savannah's brother was killed in the last year. Okay. So Savannah's mom has lost both of her children. Yeah, and that's whoops, sorry, I just noticed. Yeah, that's the thing. 3 to 4 days, Melissa, you got it. Yeah, 3 to 4 days. So we're probably saying that they last call was, okay, I have my notes here somewhere. I had notes for this. There it is. She talked to her mom 6:30. So and this is why the 3 to 4 days does not make sense to me. And I think they asked for a time frame and he just yelled out a time frame, because she spoke to her mom at 6:30 on Saturday. Okay. So if you pull out your calendar right now, that's the 23rd. Today's the 26th. Okay. People saw them leaving the house on the 24th, I think it was. Unless I have my dates wrong, gang. Very possible. Okay. Um, so we're only talking two to 2 to 3 days, not 3 to 4. So it's not like a huge difference, but it is a difference there. Okay, today was the third day. So yeah, so I think that, and that's how a lot of the things start get going on, is people hear 3 to 4 days, and our minds usually jump to the larger amount of time. So if you're told 3 or 4 days, you automatically start quoting 4 days usually. And I'll just, it's what we are. Ever since COVID, everybody, yeah, everyone wants to be viral, everyone, and that could go two different ways. Would people be trying to report things immediately or whatever? Yeah, guy just made, exactly, Mel. He made a mistake with the time zone. And that's what I'm kind of getting at with this, is he just made a mistake with the timeline. Okay, it was probably more like 2 to 3 days. And he was just trying to pull all this together as quickly as possible. By the way, welcome back, Mel. And there is In the Bushes, my dear. Hello, In the Bushes. Um, so yeah, that is definitely something there. But we do know maintenance man found it, somehow contacted the family, and then the family contacted the police. It sounds like how the chain of notification went. And also, which is also kind of interesting to me, that the maintenance man called the family, unless the maintenance man saw the car and contacted the family without checking first, because I probably would have checked and been like, oh, hell, that's a 911 call. So yeah, he probably should have gone over the timeline. Yeah, I think that probably would have been good. Um, we do know now. What else do we know? We know SAPD has taken over the case. So this all started in Leon Valley. Now the case has actually gone over to SAPD. Not sure if that's good or bad. Okay, SAPD probably. KK, let me know what you think on this, but I'm thinking they probably have a little bit more on the resources side available. In fact, a lot of people were wondering why SAPD was not involved to begin with, and all, but definitely a thought process there. The other thing they mentioned that to me sounds very, people can go running into this and reading into this 5 million different ways to Tuesday. Okay, when they were talking about the case and the environment and all, they described the case as a complex case. And all the time that I have followed these things, I have never seen police come out with that type of wording right now. And I am too bear. Yeah. That was one of them. I was trying to figure out, how would the maintenance man have known to contact the family immediately? I know there were 2 or 3 groups that were out searching. So I don't know, was he following YouTube? There was a clear alert. So he may have gotten the clear alert, but the clear alert would have had the police officer's phone number, not the family's. So I do know the family was putting their number on the posters. It's one of the things when I make posters for people, a lot of times I'll tell them, guys, I know you want to put your phone number on this, but I really suggest you do not, because you get a lot of wackos out there who will call you. And guys, as horrible as this sounds, I have had family members tell me they have had people call them up and say, "Oh yeah, I have your daughter. She's downstairs in my basement, and I'm doing this and this and this and this." No family needs that. And but we all know, as bad as trolls are in social media, they're even worse with these families. So it's very possible they did exactly that. Maybe he saw a neighborhood flyer. Okay, this was only 2 miles away. Okay, from where they went missing. So it's very possible there were flyers around and he recognized the car and then went from there. Um, so yeah. Okay, there's your answer. You don't think it's a good thing. They are not that, and that's what I heard. SAPD is not the most responsive on a lot of these things. So they have the resources, but they drop the ball a lot. Uh, I'm hoping, honestly, KK, I think depending on what happened and where things lead them, I would not be surprised to see FBI getting involved, especially if some of what we are hearing is true. If we are hearing, for example, one of the things has to do with how the two were found. Okay, those of you who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. if that's true and a potential of a hit or something like that is going on, I would not be surprised to see. Yes, they have to be requested. They have to be, and that's why it's going to be important if families keep pushing. Families got to push. When it comes to these things, families have to push because, guys, you've heard me say it before. Police are busy. There is so much freaking crime in these areas. It's not a fact that they don't want to be involved in this stuff. It's the fact is they only have so many hours in the day and so many people who can do the work. And unfortunately, what happens is the squeaky wheels tend to get the grease. So it's sad that families have to be the ones who keep pushing, but they have to keep pushing. That's the one thing you hear over and over when you talk to families is that nothing really, there's not a lot going on until they push. And then all of a sudden, everyone's focused. And yes, with her mama, yeah, there's going to be pushes. There's going to be, and this, I think with this case hit a lot of emotions and nerves and people because of just Savannah's where she was in her life, what was getting ready to happen. Okay, it's not just the fact of a young woman and a young man who've lost their life, but she was overdue. Okay, so there's a viable child potentially there too. Okay, then on top of that, you've got a family who has lost their son in the last year. There's a lot going on, and I think that's probably going to trigger people to kind of push and keep saying, wait, no, no, no. We need to support people like that that've gone through so much heartache. They need that support. But the complex case is what I don't know, what do they mean by complex? Okay. Is it how they were found? Is it because I think the first thing people would have thought in this type of case, if you saw two people who'd passed away in a car like this, is that okay, murder suicide, right? That's what we would think normally. But what makes them just saying murder? We did not hear murder suicide or potential, not even potential murder suicide. Immediately, the police officer jumped to there's a suspicion we could be looking at murder. That's saying something right there. And I think there's some things that we're going to be finding out, and we may already know some of this stuff. Okay, it's just not been released by the police yet. That is leading. How do you know they died in the car? It's a good point. Did someone pick them up? Okay, were they killed somewhere else and then driven to that area? Mel, so what are you hearing with this? I'm wondering. There's a couple bits of news that I haven't shared right here yet because I have not gotten to verify it on a comfortable level yet. And I'm very, very careful because of what is being said. I mean, it may pop up in chat, and if you guys talk about it in chat, I'll be like, "Yep, right there," and you'll know exactly. But I just want to be very careful about that. Um, I am okay. I am to bear. I think bingo, Mel, bingo. That's what I've been reading about right there. Is I have not heard in the trunk. What I have heard, and I'm not going to, I have heard her back seat, him driver's side. And yes, I have heard were they potentially bound? Um that would actually mesh with someone coming in saying it's a complex case. Mesh with people coming in and immediately not even coming straight out and saying murder rather than saying, well, we don't know. Okay, because usually they would not say anything because there's a chance it could be murder suicide. For them not to go in that direction makes me wonder. And yes, in the bushes, I'm very, very strongly wondering if it has to do with organized crime at this point. Oh, I'm too bare. So okay, it was quoted as back, we think seat, but it could be the trunk. Yes. Because I do know a lot of people did say exactly what KK just said. They if you look at the first picture people had, it looked like the trunk might have been slightly open. And um but I at the same point, I believe that's why the tarp was covering the back seat and the driver's side because that's where they were located. So yeah. It's also possible they were found in the car and the police may have opened up just to make sure there was nothing there. We don't know right now. But there's definitely a lot of things where when you hear the police say complex case and you're starting to hear all these other little things going on, you start thinking, this is not good. And I will say this, one of the things that I was able to get enough information on, it sounds like the brother may have actually, all of this was some level of criminal involvement based off of who people were hanging out with. We do know who we hang out with does affect our day-to-day life. That's one of the first lessons our children we teach our children. Okay, and it's a possibility here. Yeah, they may have had to check the trunk just to be sure, but we just don't know, or who we work for. That's true. Nope, that's a good point there. Who we hang out with or who we work for. In this case, it could be that. It's going to be interesting to see because yes, I am too bare. Potentially, was there a gang retaliation bit? Is that one reason why people didn't want to report anything? Um, is it because I'll be honest, we are in an area of the country where there is also some pretty heavy organized crime. Okay, that happens in all big cities, to be honest. Even here in Honolulu, we have organized crime out here. And but sometimes those groups do, and I'm not saying that's what happened in this case game. Okay, but I know a lot of you have actually brought that up to me privately. Was there something where it's like we're making a statement so people know, don't mess with us? It's possible, especially this close to Mexico. Exactly, KK. Especially this close to Mexico. Those of you who have never been to Texas, I mean, the lines blur. When you're in Texas, once you go a little further south, okay, the lines really start to blur between the two countries and what's going on. Mel, the brother was unalived in a drug deal setup. The assailant has claimed bingo. And so, see, there's a lot of those things happen. And I mean, that's why my heart is just going out to this mother because of everything she's gone, all the mothers, to be honest, in this case, all the family members. Because no matter what, and I'm sorry, but this is just me, even if you make the wrong decisions in your life, and no one deserves to have stuff like this happen. And especially here you are getting ready to start this possibly it's a chance to change your life and be able to move forward with a baby and all that. Now this happens. He also shot up the house right before he lured the brother away from home. And there's a lot. I need to really read into that one more. I kind of got caught with this one. And I think this might be one reason why a lot of it didn't get, okay, finding the car and all didn't get reported. It's even like me. Okay, between the case breaking yesterday and I was going to cover it, and then I had to go to a Christmas thing, and then my niece had to leave. It's this time of year is super, super busy for people. And when you're dealing with law enforcement, I think it's even busier because you have so many different things happening. Okay, think about all the families that get together who normally can't stand being with each other, and they come together at Christmas or Thanksgiving and they get into huge fights that need to be broken up and stuff like that. It's a busy year for our law enforcement. And so, okay, that's how they knew who did. Okay, got it, got it. Yeah, I need to go through. I know there's a couple places on Discord where we've been discussing this pretty heavily. I've just started up the area in my okay Discord. It's just it is sad with this case, and I think we'll hear more. But this young woman had a whole life ahead of her. This baby had a whole life ahead of her, and now what is happening with them? Yeah, it's really really sad at this point to see what's going on. So, you know what? While we're talking, let me check to see if there's anything new that is popping up on Facebook. KK just said the guy accused the brother of stealing the cartridges. The mom paid the guy off. The guy got a girl to DM the. Wow. Wow. It's really, there's so many things can get out of control so quickly. Yeah. What kind of life? And you guys, one of the things with me is I'm one that always believes in redemption. Okay. And people trying to become better in their life. But the thing is, they've got to choose it. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I also know a lot of people aren't willing to make that choice. Okay. But I think people can. Okay. I didn't see any evidence that was happening in this case, to be honest, between you guys and me. But I do believe that everyone, as we get older, has that chance to make changes in their life if they want to, if they feel like it's worth it. Okay, if they feel that they can. And some people, I do know there's socioeconomic sides to stuff where it's a lot harder for some people to make those changes than others just because of how socioeconomic things are set up. So let me real quickly just check if there's any other changes. For those of you who don't know, there is a Facebook group called Find Savanah Soto Discussion. That's where a lot of us have been actually sitting and kind of finding out what's going on and stuff like that. So it looks like his cousin is on, and that's one thing that I have had some. I know his family has been very involved at getting out there and answering questions and stuff like that. And that's sometimes ways people deal with their emotions is sharing information. I think that's also why people had to shut down a lot of the different discussions because it was getting too heated. Just trying to see what else is out here. Anyone see any new information or anything? Oh wow, there was someone who was actually following the car in the tow truck. Thank you, I am Two Bear. Yes, everyone, please. I don't have my Battissimo to remind everyone. Please hit the thumbs up. Please help share this out. Guys, if you help me share out my channel, a lot of the times the focus of my channel is not about what's happening right now. It's about when the person goes missing. It's about trying to share the picture of the person when they're missing so that we get the right person to know. And also, you guys really make that difference because the more things get into the algorithm, the better the chance is of the right people seeing the information. So please do consider doing that. And if you'd like to help support the channel as a member or anything like that, just that thumbs up. You'd be amazed how much it helps. LG, I've been cooking and listening, however, please. Oh, yeah, thank you. And but be careful, it's full of false information. Yes, and that's the thing. If you go to these groups at any time, you got to realize you've got emotion. I am cheeks. There's a lot of false information that goes back and forth in these groups, and you got to be careful. Always ask yourself. I literally saw a thread where it went on like 40, 50 messages where people were going back and forth fighting over who found the vehicle because family had said we found her, and now we're getting word that it was a maintenance worker, and they were fighting about that. And in the end, if people just back up a step or two and think for a second, okay, could there be a logical reason why this information is being shared this way? Yeah, subjectively. It's like when I find someone or get something, I say, oh, okay. If I'm out shopping, okay, and I'm looking for something and my brother finds it, I'll go to my mom and I'll say, hey, we found it. It's just the way things are worded at times. Yep, Mel. And I really try hard not to. I really try hard. I do have to say it's kind of hard, like things like the bound bit. It's really, really hard. Sometimes you don't know where it's coming from at that point, and you never know. And you got to be open to that. So it's really, yeah. So it looks like the car was, I'm trying to see. No, they did not. Okay. Someone is sitting here and see, these are the things that drive me crazy. Someone videotaped the tow truck. Okay, does anyone know? Actually, maybe I should ask first. There's no way this would happen. Okay, someone videotaped the tow truck actually driving away with the car. And it says in there she is, which is going to lead people to think, oh my gosh, they were driving the car with her. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. But people go and say these things. And it's just, oh my God, sorry. It makes me so, those are the things that make me, because these are real things. These are not just stories. There are many, many people are going to go to bed tonight and aren't going to sleep and ink. Okay, not a minute of the whole night, because all they're going to think about is how their loved one is no longer with them. And I mean, yep, exactly, LG, because Mel's responsible. It's okay to speculate, gang. We all speculate. Okay, hell, that's what we do half the time. But just know that there's a difference between speculation and fact. And speculation is not fact. Fact is what we are given by the police or people who are primary sources. And that's what's important there, is knowing and recognizing a primary source for what it is. Okay. Helping each other. You have no idea how many times like Sleuth and I will say, oh, wait, have we verified this? And also, um, I agree, LG, and what I should have clarified by saying, they did not cover the windows or anything. I have a very hard time in speculation, but I have a very hard time believing they would move the vehicle with any deceased in it and not cover the windows. So sorry, I did not share that. But that's just me, because good and well, someone could sell a picture of something like that for thousands and thousands of dollars in today's day and age, which is another issue. Sorry, I'm reading things. It said they found two. Okay. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. Yeah. Sorry. And I did not state that. I kind of got a little heated without stating everything. Let me see. What else do we have here? I'm looking here on the group, and if anyone has any more information to share, um, and then we can figure out. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what's come here. So I guess one of the cousins just did something on TikTok, and interesting. So further information come. There's a lot of he said, she said's going on in this case, and a lot of the stories are not meshing now. Now, according to this, one of the cousins was talking on TikTok, and they're saying he was in the back seat. Um, Yet earlier we were being told something different. But there was no way. Okay, I'll read it to you. This is a quote from someone else. This is not fact whatsoever. I just watched his cousin's live on TikTok. She said that Matthew was found laying in the back seat. She said he was tortured, but not Savannah, and that the way he was found, there is no way he could have done it. So, see, guys, there's a lot of emotions going on right now. Okay, people want to make sure to protect their loved one who can't protect themselves now. Yeah, that's I agree with you. That's how I was kind of thinking with it. So we need to really wait right now to find out exactly what's going to come, because a lot is going to come out. You just read that too, KK. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of new bits of info, and some of it's going to be real. But I think right now, some of what you start seeing whenever you've got a husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, but two groups, two people, and both are involved, whether they're both innocent or one's innocent, one's guilty, or whatever. No one wants their loved one to be seen in a bad light. So things are said. Okay. Right now, I can tell you most of that right now could not have been answered. It would be very hard to answer a lot of those types of questions that were just shared there. It's really hard. Yeah. LG, it's hard not to parse into words. It really is. Okay. And what's bad, honestly, LG, Mel, okay, Mel, all you guys, is especially on social media. There's a lot of us who've tried to approach missing, true crime, things like that as especially news stories like this. I introduced the story when they were missing yesterday. That's what I focus on is the missing, not the story after the fact. I focus on the missing. And when things start happening after that fact, people tend to start, it's very easy to read into things very quickly. And people want to read it, which is normal. I do it. You guys know when we talk behind the scenes, I'm talking all my assumptions and thoughts and stuff. But when it comes down to talking like this, I try to keep it to the facts as much as possible. But I'll be honest with you, most people don't want to hear just the facts. We want to talk about what we think happened. So, where are those lines between? And it's a question that a lot of us have talked about. Where are those correct boundaries for those discussions between sharing what we think may have happened versus what did happen versus how it's just really interesting. And everyone has a different way of dealing. But I've noticed even with me, I can't just come straight out anymore and just say, these are the facts. Because a lot of times there aren't, it's not till months later we truly get the facts. And I think there have been cases that cars have been towed on a flatbed truck with the bodies inside to not, and I could see that. Especially depending on how the bodies were found, I could see it happening. If say they'd been in water or stuff like that, that's possible. I think they probably would have put some sort of cover over the car, something like that, just out of respect for those who had lost their life. And I think that's where I'm kind of thinking with that. So you sent the TikTok from the cousin to watch. Thank you. I will definitely, for those of you who want to know, if KK hasn't posted it in Discord, I'll also post it. I don't want to watch that one here because I think we're going to have a lot of partial information or the emotions are going to be somewhere else right now on that. If I ever do something like that, I might do that as a members only type thing. Um, so just so we're discussing it on a more quiet level that we know that we're talking assumption level. Which is kind of what Discord is. Discord, by the way, is free for it, whether you're a member or not. It's just for us to clearly it's there for you guys all to be able to talk story and for me to be able to share. That's what that's it. Um, yeah, that's true. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, just traveling alone would potentially mess up stuff too. So, LG, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Sleuth, Burden, and others. There's so many out there now that are learning to take that stand and say, we can have these lines that we don't cross. Yes, we're still going to talk this stuff, but we don't have to have a channel that's based off it and all. So, and yeah, that we do hit, yeah, it's hard when you see some of these, it's just hard. There, I think chain of custody dictates only the ME can release or okay transfer. Okay, that makes sense. That would make sense. I know ME, no matter what, is going to have to report whether or not, for example, the baby, okay, has passed away or not. Because unless it's obvious that they've been, and if it was obvious that removal, things like that, I think we would have what KK said. I think we would literally have an Amber Alert out at this point for the baby. So and that breaks my heart because there was part of me as I heard about the two, I actually was kind of hoping that was the situation because just the thought of a baby losing their life. We do know when a mother who's pregnant passes away, a baby usually passes away very quickly. If they're not, it becomes emergent to get, okay, if a mother is in a car accident and dies in a car accident, it is emergency to have that baby born as soon as possible. I mean, literally minutes, okay, because after a certain point, the baby doesn't have oxygen coming in, things like that, and it will become a problem. Um, so yeah, that's where your head starts playing with things and thinking, you know what? Oh, because at least that way there'd be still a little one out there we could hopefully find. Everyone come together and put the word out and bring them home to grandma. And also, but yeah, I think that's definitely an issue. So that water is done. Um, yeah, there's some things in here being said about people that, yeah, no, I'll definitely watch the TikTok later, but I think I would probably get angry watching some of it. From what I'm looking at right now, I have a funny feeling I'd be getting in at a couple comments. Apparently, the apartment complex they were found at is known for extreme violence. Interesting. So, seeing random cars there for multiple days was super common. So, that answers your question. That answers the question big time. It's not holidays or anything like that. It was one of those things that, yeah, people heard. It's just another one of those situations. When you're around violence all the time, when you're part of a society where that is happening all the time, you're kind of like, oh God, they're happening. Okay. And you just turn and walk off because you don't want to get involved. We've heard those stories where people are like, I didn't want to get involved and I knew someone else would report it. And I didn't want to say anything because then that means I might have to go to a court case or testify or things like that. And that could get me in trouble later down. And that's unfortunately how people often end up thinking. They have their own loved ones and family. Not saying it's right. Not saying it's wrong. It's just it's the fact of where we are nowadays as a society. And I mean, like I said a few minutes ago, when I was talking to my friends Christmas Eve, and we were talking about how they've seen people full out fights in front of them, and everyone has their camera out like that instead. Okay, no one's called 911, but every single person has a camera out. Okay. For the Taylor Amber case, there wasn't an Amber Alert, but the hospitals were on. You know what? I don't do that to me. Don't get my hopes up. I could actually, you know why I could see that being done? I could see that being done in a case because if people are of the type that they're trying to make a quick buck or something off of a baby like that, and that baby becomes too dangerous for them, you can fill in the blank from there. I can't bring myself to say it, but I could see where maybe they would not do an Amber Alert because they want to keep the child safe. So again, see, that's the issue with assumptions game. Okay, and we all do it, but there's always these other options out there that we don't think about. Um, Oh, no, no, no. That's it. That's it. No, it's important to know because it actually is important to know those things because people do. We do tend to fill in the blank. It's normal for us to fill in the blank. And we can fill in the blank in our heads as long as we know that it's not a 100%. There's always, and that actually makes complete sense to me now. Now that you mention it, makes complete sense to me, actually. So, very, yeah, very good point. The New York attitude. Bingo. I saw nothing, nothing there. Oh, yeah, that thing that I was videotaping. Yeah, no, I didn't see anything whatsoever. So, um, so mother and sister-in-law are now saying that they were not. Okay. Mother being which mother? His Matthews or Savannah's? Because I'll be honest with you, I'm hearing two different stories depending on which side of the family. Okay, whose family I'm listening to. And that's just the emotions connected to everything right now. So Savannah's mother. Okay. So there that's see, and that's the thing. People are trying to are people making up things to try to save someone's posthumous way people are thinking about them. Okay, reputation, whatever it is. So thank you for saying that, KK. That helps me understand that. So um I definitely one of my, as I told you guys earlier, I told my mom my birthday's next month and then Christmas this month. So I told my mom, I was like, okay, no Christmas gifts. I don't want Christmas gifts. Just a little bit of help when it comes time for me to buy my laptop, my desktop. So, because big difference when you have two screens and not a laptop. So, um, let's see, Matthew was explaining everything that is known as far. Okay. The one who started the was his cousin who's heavily on, and that makes sense. That makes sense. People start they hope something is what it is because it's better to think that way than to think another way. And so um it's hard. It's really, really, really hard. Um yeah, I'm even going back to where they're talking about when they found the car and stuff like that. And so many things move so quick. Um yeah, there was some discussion about the car seat. Okay. Those of you, because I haven't been able to parse my way through this yet. The car seat was in the car, but I'm also hearing something, okay, about her lap. Okay, and I'm not sure if that's another one of those things. I need to read into a lot of that stuff. Because yeah, the windows you should be, yeah, they're definitely because this is I yeah, and that's it. That's it. And we're actually at just over an hour and I don't want to keep this going on forever. But I think right now the police are going to have to work their butt off on this case. There's a lot of different things in this case. And I'm just really hoping that there's peace for these families, both sides of the families, guys. Okay, both sides. Sister-in-law said the car seat was on her lap and it was empty, which is weird. Why would you put a car seat on your lap? But that's just me. I would have thought it would have actually been installed or ready to be installed. Yeah, that I had heard about the car seat bit, and that people said that the car seat was on her lap, but then people thought, well, maybe the baby was there, and that's when things got really confusing too. So interesting there, interesting wording of that right there. But yeah, we'll see if there are many updates, guys. Please join us over on Discord. I do have Discord actually right now pinned right up there at the top. Please join, come say hi, hang out with us, and things like that. For those of you who are new, we are actually here, and I should be getting back to a normal schedule now that the holidays are almost done. I've had house guests for, gosh, about 3 out of the last 4 weeks, so we're getting back to normal now. But it's been a little crazy. But Mondays we talk about a missing person. Okay, always I try to find someone that no one else is talking about, so we can share that story. And then Wednesday, Sleuth Mom and I usually do a live together where we either talk about true crime in general or we just have fun. And then Friday, I kind of changed the direction a little bit because this, when you're following these cases, as has been mentioned in chat, it's hard on you emotionally. It's very hard on you emotionally. So we talk about mental health issues, whether it be depression, anxiety, getting through the holidays, okay, stress, okay, boundaries, you name it. We talk about it because I don't know about you, but this type of stuff, you've always got to be taking care of yourself while you're dealing with this. Got a couple more new comments. She couldn't have been in the trunk if it was on her lap. Exactly. And also, with as heavily pregnant as she was, even if she delivered a car seat, probably wouldn't fit. Bingo. And she had a huge baby bump. Her bump, she had a big bump. She definitely had a big bump. So yeah, that's why there's a lot of things I think it'll probably clear up over time. We are recognizing that these families, I suspect they're going to have to talk. They're the types that are going to need to talk out the emotions. Once in a while, you see that with certain families. I don't know if you remember Kamari when she was killed by, well, sold to her drug dealer um and then later killed. And her father needed to talk through a lot of his emotions with his support system online. And so I have a funny feeling that we may see that with this. I may be wrong, but I'm kind of getting that feeling right. So just supporting them because that's what everyone did with Kamari's dad. They were there to try to support him because he had to deal with so much after that. His little princess, and yeah, Savannah is so cute with that. That bump was just so cute. So just be, yeah, everyone take care. Everyone take care. It's hard when you're seeing these stories, and this one's been more heartbreaking. Okay, I know they're all the same, but some just connect and this one really did. So I hope all you guys are having an amazing, amazing evening. I'm actually going to go connect up and have leftover turkey dressing. And I think we're going to watch a movie. My brother's going to come over to the house and we're going to watch a movie or something like that tonight. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys have a good evening and I will see you oh my God, it's Tuesday, gang. It's Tuesday, which means perhaps Sleuth and I will be live tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we've been co-streaming at the same time, okay, on Duo Stream. So we'll see how that goes. Love each and every one of you. I hope you have an awesome one. And I will see y'all later. Love you guys. Aloha. Mahalo. And let me get rid of that real quickly. Aloha. Mahalo. Thank you. Hey, I am Two Bear and everyone who's new. We got a lot of people that are new here. I really appreciate you guys saying, yeah, this is always, I will work my butt off to keep this place troll free because any family, we get families who do come into this live and it needs to be troll free for them. They deserve that. If they deserve anything, it's a place where they can come and talk about their loved ones without having to worry about it. So I'm so happy you guys joined us, but I'm going to get out of here. I've got, oh, I wish you guys could see this. Wait, I got to show you guys this. Lights are out. Not one, but two. Two dogs at the same time, and they're both sleeping. That doesn't happen often. So we will deal with that. Oh, gosh, I don't want to wake them up. Someone's waking up, though. Okay. Aloha, mahalo. Love you guys, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.